So anyway, that was our first year marriage. On our first year anniversary, we weren't even talking. Crazy, right? We couldn't even say happy anniversary because we weren't even talking on our first married anniversary. Um, and so anywho, yeah, we were in counseling with a family member and that went left because the family member, I mean, yeah, there were faults of mine as well that was being pointed out, but a lot of things were pointing towards her. And now she felt like, oh, the family member is biased because that's your cousin. She's a licensed therapist, or a therapist. Either way, that's her that's her profession. And I said, nah, it's not that she's biased. Is the fact that like a lot of the problems do stem from you. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, no, blah, blah, blah. All right, fine, whatever. Like, but we need somebody to talk to so we can get through this. So now we're entering our second year. Like, like we're past the first year mark, entering into, building our second year. Um, and I'm like, like, who are we going to talk to then? Matter of fact, let's talk to your brother. Fine, he's your family member, right? We start talking to her brother. Same thing. Oh, he's biased because he's a man and he's going to stick up for you. All right. So first, the therapist who's professional went to school for this is biased because they're my family member. Now your brother's biased because he's a man. I said, now you pick who you want to talk to because now at this point I don't want to talk to nobody because what's going to happen is they're going to find fault in a lot of the things that she's doing because, like I said, I've been open from the beginning who I was. So a lot of the problems stem from her. Now I was doing a lot of compromising. In the beginning, was I compromising as much as I could have? No, because I just felt like this is who I am. Why should I need to compromise, right? But as I got more mature and older, it took some time, but eventually I got there, right? So, anywho, now, we're going through all these problems, in our building of second year marriage, and we're getting through it. It's slowly but surely. And I remember like once we finally was getting to a point of like, boom, we're okay, we're like getting better now. Money's coming through. I got a better paying job. She got a better paying job. Um, you know, she had a really, anywho, yeah. She got a better paying job, and now we are finally getting to a better place in the home, in the marriage. I don't know. Love was in the air again. We're almost back to where we once were. She was happy, I was happy, and we're like, let's have another kid. Let's build this family. We're living so good. Da, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, no, we shouldn't have even thought of that. But right, we're thinking, hey, God works in mysterious ways because she got pregnant and then she had a miscarriage. And so we're like, yo, let's take that as a sign. Like we don't need to be having any more children right now. Like, we were caught up on love, from finally getting to a good space in our marriage. We're good and let's enjoy our lives. Let's have fun. You know what I'm saying? So now this is like ending of 2019. So we are like, yeah, we're heading into 2020. And I remember like I was sick. This was before we knew what the heck COVID was. And I just could not get over being sick. I'm like, why am I so sick? And I was sick for a long time. And finally, I started to get better. Now we're planning this trip with a whole bunch of couples, like a whole bunch of couples. Like it must have been like about, I don't know, close to 10. Like I said, my wife had just had a miscarriage not too long ago. So we're planning the trip. We're talking to the next couple who's kind of like we're co-planning, and we're finally finished with everything: deposits, setting up links, picking the Airbnb. Like we're finally with it. And then next thing you know, they say as we end in the call, y'all mother effers better not get pregnant. We're laughing like, nah, we're trying to live our life. We're done with the whole nah. Like we're trying to live. We get off the phone. I'm telling you, everything in me is like, it's funny that they said that because I've been thinking like, I feel like she's pregnant again. But I was like, nah, that can't be. She just had a miscarriage. The whole time I'm asking her, are you sure you're not pregnant, right? She's like, no, but because I'm asking her now, she's like, maybe I should go take a pregnancy test, right? So I'm like, it's funny they said that because I was kind of like thinking, are you pregnant? And then next, they say something like that. That's so funny. So she secretly takes a pregnancy test. I'm laying in the bed just waiting for her to get out the bathroom. She comes out the bathroom with this big smile on her face. I'm like, you good? She's like, I'm like, is that a pregnancy? I don't know, it's fake pregnant, And she's like, and she, it's like she starts crying, but it's tears of joy. I start crying. It's a mixture of like joy and sorrow because I'm like, we just said we were about to live our life. Now we got to cancel all these plans, da 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 da, whatever. Boom, fine, whatever. So we literally called back the same couple we got off the phone not too long ago and said, you won't believe what we just found out. They're like, what? What happened? I'm like, remember what you said before you got off the phone? They're like, yeah. They're like, no way, like no, like they're freaking out, right? So we had to cancel, and then um, February comes around, and now they're talking about shutting down the country. Then we're moving along. Long story short, everybody had to cancel that trip, so it didn't even matter anyway. But now she's pregnant, and things start to go downhill again. She starts slipping into this depression because she loses her job. COVID has us on lockdown. Like everything just starts to just go into a downward spiral from here. And this is when things just kind of just never, we just were never able to come back up from this downfall. That was it. Like once it was down, it was kind of just like down. We had up moments, but it was just down. So yeah, that was like the first 2 years of marriage. Now, you know, we're in May. We hit our second year anniversary. We're better. She's pregnant. At least we're able to say happy anniversary this time around. But the battles were starting to pick up. Yeah, the battles were definitely starting to pick up. And then I would say towards the end of the pregnancy, our marriage and our household was hitting a lot of warfare. I'm talking about her aunt passed away, so that hit her. Then my job was tripping because she was having a rough pregnancy towards the end, so I had to be a husband and a father, take care of my family. And then so she was like on the verge of going on bed rest. She wasn't there yet, but she was on the verge. Then my daughter, my eldest stepdaughter, um, had got severe second-degree burns all down her back, her buttock, her legs. It was just bad. And my wife couldn't do anything to help her, so I had to be the one to stay home from work and help. So I was working from home. And then my other daughter ended up having to get surgery because they found a tumor in her neck. So then a week after my daughter's surgery, my landlord decides he wants to sell the house. So we all, like, within 1 month, right?